Thank you, everyone. So my name is Nils Henrik Haga, Partner Operations Manager at Boost.ai. So I wanted to give a little bit of context to who we are at Boost.ai and eventually how we are using Impartner to transform our partner experience. So Boost.ai is a SaaS company that enable enterprises to create chatbots and voice bots in a secure and scalable way. We do that with our own in-house conversational AI technology, and now for the past year and a half, we also obviously have to integrate with generative AI capabilities so that big enterprises can have their own, in many ways, a cheesy way to say it, their own ChatGPT for their company. And at Boost.ai, our mission is to enable outstanding experiences between people and organizations. This is definitely true for our customer strategy, but it also extends into our partner strategy. We're a fairly small company, around 150 employees, and our partner ecosystem is roughly 70 partners. But we want each and every one of those partners to have the best experience when engaging with us. And we're also in a scale stage, so we want to continue to scale our partner program. So when we get new partners in, we want that experience to be on point so that they will continue working with us. Because especially in our space, there's so many different vendors partners can choose from. So to give them that good impression when they start working with us is going to be crucial. So when I was asked to come here today to talk about how we use Impartner to elevate our partner experience, I had to think about what's the best way to tell that story. So I decided to take some inspiration from some of the best storytellers, in my opinion, that we have today, which is Disney Pixar. So in the style of Pixar, let me tell you a story. So once upon a time in Norway, there was this partner operations manager at a company called Boost.ai. He looked a little bit like this. And can you see the resemblance, maybe? So my mission back then, we're going back a few years, was to elevate our partner program and drive better results across all our partners. Because a few years ago, we had a problem, and I called that the long tail problem. I guess you all have heard about the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your results comes from 20% of your partners. Problem was that at Boost.ai, we had maybe more of a 95-5 rule. So we had, out of the 70 or 60 at that time partners we had, only 3 of them were delivering results that were good enough together with us. We had a very long tail, and we knew that this is a problem because we're so heavily dependent on these 3 partners to deliver results with us. If one of them drop off, that's a significant decrease in our partner channel revenue. So the current fix that we had at the time that was not working was to focus on partner performance. We went in with a lot of these partners and talked to them like, what can we do to try to improve performance? Can we do some campaigns together? Can we do some trials together? And we saw some short-term results. But each time, I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be good, thank you. Each time we saw that the partner went back to the status quo shortly after we did something with them. So that's why at some point during this story, one day I realized I had a light bulb moment. Now in reality, it wasn't necessarily one moment that was a light bulb goes switching on in my head, but more of a gradual increase. But every story needs a turning point. Thank you. So one day, I realized we were looking at the wrong part of the equation. We needed to focus more on partner experience. So I was one of the lucky ones to be able to go to ImpartnerCon in February earlier in Miami. And during that event, Diane Krikora had an excellent talk about partner experience where she talked about this equation that really stuck with me. She said that partner experience leads to increased partner engagement, which again leads to increased partner performance. So this kind of highlights the fact that we were looking at the wrong end of the equation when we tried to fix this. We needed to focus on partner experience. So commence the search for a solution. At Boost.ai, we did have a partner portal at this time, but it was only an extension of our intranet, so there was no features or functionalities designed to help us, engage with the partner community. And this is about 2 or 3 years ago, and I didn't even know what a PRM was at that time. But I knew that we had to have something better. So I jumped on internet, searched for a solution. I learned about the PRM, like, okay, this is probably what we need. And we vetted different vendors, and eventually we found the vendor that would be the right choice for us. And probably no surprise to the audience here today that was Impartner. Good choice. So then, once we decided on Impartner, this is the kind of like the implementation timeline. So we signed the contract end of 2022. I remember it was between Christmas and New Year's. I was sitting at home and I finally, got a note saying that our CFO signed the deal. I think Mike was happy too when that happened. We started the implementation January the next month. Due to some messy data and some of the structures in our Salesforce, it took a bit of time because we had to fix that first, but eventually we did a soft launch in June last year, and then we did a full launch to our whole partner program in August. So we've been fully live for just over a year now. And that meant that we could move away from this. This is our old partner portal. It's messy and it gives me trauma looking at it now. It was hard for partners to find what they needed in there. So we could scratch that and instead move to something like this. Much cleaner, in my opinion, and it's also very easy for partners to find what they need in there. We decided when we went with Impartner to use their PX version instead of the Classic. There's a few reasons why we did that. One of them is the clean design. It was very easy to use this solution to make it match our branding. And it's also using a well-known format that any user will have recognized this format from any other app or software that they're using. But probably the most important, like I said, we're about 150 employees in our company. Such a small company don't have a massive partner operations team, so it's just me. So that meant that we needed to have a solution that could enable me to run with this myself without having too many people from tech coming in to help me with some coding here and there. So with the PX version, we were able to launch our portal without any of that support. Now, I will say if you can do a little bit of HTML coding or have someone help you out with that, you can make it look even nicer. These buttons right here, those are made with some HTML code, but you can also do this just using images and text in there. Another nice thing about Impartner in general, but also the PX version, is that it's super easy to create custom pages for your portal. That was one of the requirements we had for vendors. And Impartner was one of the few that was really good at this. A lot of other vendors had this, but it was professional services. They had to build it for you, all that stuff. Here I can create these pages myself. And again, just a little bit of HTML code. You can make it look like you want it to. There's actually a pro tip there to use ChatGPT when you need code. I do that all the time now. I tell it what I need. The more detailed I can be, the better output I get. And then we go back and forth, me and ChatGPT. Can you do this a little bit smaller, this a little bit bigger, change the size of this? There's a little pro tip. Obviously, we didn't have any features in our old partner portal, so just the fact that they can now register deals and have sales dashboards in our portal enhances the experience of our partners already. It's a pretty standard feature for PRMs, but this was new to us and exciting to us. We also recently got contract data into our Salesforce. And if it lives in Salesforce, it means that we can pull it into Impartner very easily. So we just had a custom object, and now we pull in all contract data into the partner portal, so our partners have full visibility on all the contract data on their customers. So when does it renew? Is it auto renewal? When does it end? What's the value of this contract? And so on. Another key thing about why we chose Impartner and how we can use that to improve the partner experience is that we can set up automation workflows. So you can set up workflows for almost anything, but to the ones that can improve the experience is the things like we created one that after they register their first deal in our portal, we send them an email, congratulate them on that registration, and then maybe give them some assets on how to qualify that deal and so on. So we can give that little bit of personalization and extra touch to make the experience of the portal even better. We also decided to use their Impartner's newsletter feature called News on Demand. We used to use HubSpot for sending out mass communication to our partners. We saw fairly low open rates through that. But we have seen a very good pickup after switching to News on Demand. The good thing about this solution is that users can set their own preferences in the portal. They can subscribe and unsubscribe to topics, and they can set the cadence they want on how often the newsletter should land in their inbox. So we went from around 10% open to 35–40% open rates after switching to this, which is very nice. And finally, I'm very happy to say that last night at the hotel, I pushed live on this. We have extended our partner portal to also let our recruiting partners in even before they start onboarding. Shout out to Steve from Finastra, who has talked about this in the past, where I got the inspiration to do this. So now we can let our partners come in when they're recruiting, before they start onboarding, to help guide them through what we need to do to get to the next stage. We can help set expectations, both what they can expect from us, but also what we expect from our partners. And we can also then start getting data on our recruiting partners, who's engaging with us and who's not, so we can get an idea of who will actually continue with engaging with us in the future. So obviously these are things we're implementing that's like they're bigger, they're on a strategic level. It's not that, yes, we're focusing on partner experience now, so tomorrow we see tons of changes. This happens over time, but we have started to see some changes. And now around five of the partners are delivering results that we see are really good with us. But probably the most important here is that there's more partners lining up right behind them. So they want to join that company. This is a graph for closed won business for this year. What this doesn't show is also the pipeline generation that also happens, and we've seen a great growth in that from our partner community. So this change in partner experience, alongside some increased focus on partner recruitment, we see that it's starting to take effect, and we hope that the lagging effect of this in 1 to 2 years is that we have a much bigger group of partners in that top range to deliver results with us. But there's still a long way to go. With solutions like Impartner and big projects with partner experience, it's not a build it and leave it kind of thing. You have to continuously update it and tweak it to make it look good and give a good experience to the partners. So I have a ton of things on my to-do list that I want to and will do with Impartner. So I thought I would, to end the story, so let's say this is a story and then it's a never-ending story, right? So what's next for us? Currently, I'm working on creating a whole new online onboarding path for our partners. And I'm doing that so that the onboarding content should be just for me, just in time, just enough. That's the mantra of our customer education team that I've adopted into the partner team. That means that when a partner user starts working with us and is going through onboarding, we don't want to slam all that onboarding content in their face right away. We give them the introductions first, and then based on what they do, where they are in their life cycle, we add additional onboarding content to them. A good example can be that we first obviously tell them what our ideal customer is and how to look for prospects, but we don't tell them anything about how to qualify those deals until they actually register a lead. In addition to that, it should also be tailored to their role, so it's just for them. We also want to add proactive messaging for contract renewal so that we can use that contract data we have in the portal, send an email to the partner saying, hey, now there's 6 months until this contract ends. It's probably time to start talking with this customer about renewal, maybe increasing the deal size, and then provide them with some assets to help them do just that. We're also working on getting our project data into Salesforce, because once again, if it's in Salesforce, we can pull it into Impartner. That way we can create dashboards for our partners on their projects so they can see how are their projects performing. We also want to see if we can do some comparisons to an average project with Boost so they can see if they're above or below average. And then eventually do the same for this, where we can do proactive messaging on this data as well. And finally, we want to use the automation workflows to create a welcome email package. You know, every time you sign up for any solution, you get an email saying, welcome, here's your login details, and then you log in. We want to, in addition to that, for the first 30 days of a new user coming in, we want to send them different emails throughout those 30 days to show them different aspects of the portal, what assets we have in there, and kind of like give an extra engagement boost in the first 30 days, because we hope that will also then carry on as they work with us. So thank you very much. That was what I had.